Okay, we are live now.
That was me cheering.
Okay.
Gonna get there.
Yep. So this is the Ritz-Carlton case, and when I started reading it, I even thought there wouldn't be any issues with it because everything seems to be so perfect until I got to the bottom part of it before I saw a little bit of issues that Collins was raising. So Ritz Carlson, I'll just give a gist of the whole case. Ritz Carlson has been contracted by, what's the name of the company?
Millennium Partners.
Millennium Partners, sorry, to manage this, what do you call it, hotel plus condominiums and offices and restaurants. It's a big complex. And it looks like this is the first time that Ritz Carlson have to go manage something like this. They normally do just hotels. And Ritz Carlson seems to be one of the best hotel management groups in the world. I think they are about the best. And I think the Four Seasons, the two of them are supposed to be the best. And they have perfected a way to be able to do their business, and they have been showing results over the years. And now they have this new challenge that so the first thing I would like to raise is that do you think that they've been doing this 7-day training thing for years and it's been working, but that is one of the things that Collins is raising, that he thinks that they are not getting enough training. What do you think? Do you think that the 7 days that the employees get to train, take over the complex is enough?
I thought this case is funny in the fact that I thought it was enough because it kind of gave facts on turnover, like that paragraph about turnover in the hotel industry and how Ritz had the lowest. I think it was 20% or something like that.
Yeah, and other percent industry wide, didn't they say? It was something big.
And so when I was writing it, I did a lot of research on statistics about hiring and turnover and whatnot. And it said the biggest reason for turnover is lack of training. Yeah. So I didn't understand where he was coming from with the lack of training thought, since their turnover was so low. I don't know. I think 7 days is enough, especially since they say it's been working for them.
Right. Well, and it's 7 full days. It's not like 7 little mini classes or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like 7 full days of training. And I think if they did go to more training, then they could probably up their occupancy rates, which is what I think he was getting at. They need more training so that we can just start them out at, full capacity at the hotel. But I understand, I've been a trainer before, and you can't. There's always problems that come up. Even if you've trained your people really, really well and they understand the processes, there's always something that comes up that, throws a kink in the plan. So I think 7 days, and I like how they do, like they teach all the values first, and then they teach their jobs last. I did some research too, and it talked about how you only have so much time to influence them on values, and after that it kind of all starts to mush in your brain. But those first few meetings that they have are the most important to catch the employees' attention, and they must be doing something right if they're not having the turnover that other hotel industries have. So I thought 7 days was appropriate, and if they've been using this method in other hotels and other openings, then it works.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm coming from Collins's point of view. I mean, the reason why Collins is pushing for 7 days is that he thinks that, they want to slowly ramp up occupancy rate. They are trying to start low and then slowly increase it according to the capabilities of their staffing and the training they've had. So Collins is trying to say that, why don't you get more people trained and then ramp up to 80% immediately? Because here's the case, he's borrowed money to, build the complex. Right. He has to pay back this. He's not going to wait, or the bank is not going to say, oh, because rate says run, we are slowly ramping up occupancy, so interest rates will freeze, he will still have to pay. So
Right.
what I was suggesting was that why don't REITs, instead of training 7 days at the new complex, why don't REITs train at an older REIT complex that they have or hotel facility? You start training those people over there over a period, and then bring them on. So you have them there for let's say, a month. You
Right.
see? And then when it's time, you bring them here 7 days, and you can ramp up occupancy immediately to 80% if you have the people moving in.
Right.
Why wait for a long time to ramp it up when they still have to pay their mortgages?
I think it's a good idea if there was local Ritz-Carltons that they could go to. I think that's a great idea to have them shadow another hotel so they learn their job on the job, and then they could, start faster. But is there one close by? I don't know.
Because that would cost a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, to transport.
Especially
No,
for a month.
they can afford it. They can afford it. Hi, Dondi.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, I just won't use my earphones.
Yeah, but Andrew, I think they can afford it. They have the money.
I know they have the money. I was just thinking, I don't know. Is it worth it though?
It is, because assuming
If there's
that you
seven-
are the
if
one.
there's
I
seven-
remember one of Donald Trump's hotels that he was building somewhere. As they were building to whichever level, he was moving people in. It's a condo, and as they were building, he was moving people in. So whichever level they complete fully before they tackle the next level, and people were moving into the complex. So I mean, he is thinking about paying his mortgages, and he's not going to wait for what do you call it? The management team to ramp up occupancy slowly.
I think there needed to be an agreement beforehand. That there was needing to be a meeting of the minds between Collins and McBride, or Millennium Partners and Ritz-Carlton, as to like what the plan was, how they were going to do it, what this would entail for the other partner. I mean, because even though one's an agent and one's a principal, like they have to work in tandem and they have to agree on the comings and goings of each other. So even though this guy gets to make decisions about occupancy rates, this guy should have a little bit of say in it, but it should have been agreed upon before they started.
But I don't think it looks like they didn't agree upon anything. They just took off, and then it looks like Collins is realizing things along the way that certain things might not work in his favor, so he's trying to push for it.
Right. But Collins has to remember that Ritz has their own strategy that's worked for years and years, so it's not like they're going to just change the way they do things just because he doesn't like it.
Right. Well, and I think they want to keep the Ritz-Carlton brand. So if you go into a Ritz-Carlton in Chicago and then you come to the one in DC, you feel the same level of service in this, like you walked into the same hotel, because the service is so fluid and everything looks and feels the same. So they have their image and they have their plan that they've used, and it's run and it's worked. So he doesn't want to change it.
Right. Right.
Anyway, so are we exhausted on that, or should we move forward?
Sure.
No, okay. So the next question is that I was supposed to, what do you call it, research it, but I didn't even see. What is REIT's competitive advantage here? Competitive advantage.
Their competitive advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Over what? What's it implying?
Like,
as a management group, what advantage do they have over other management groups? That would be their competitive advantage. I would say that, I mean, is the way they train their staff. Is it? I mean, if you don't train your staff well, I mean, you see that they have the lowest, what they call labor turnover in the whole industry. and they've trained their staff so much so well that they give them the opportunity to, or the confidence to stay in the job instead of leaving. So I think that might be one of their competitive advantages. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
It must be effective.
yeah, and I don't remember where I read this. I think I was reading some other articles about the Ritz-Carlton. You know how they said that they give their employees, not only do they give them permission to fix problems, but it's their baby until that problem's fixed if a customer has a problem.
Right.
So in one of the articles I read that they have a blank check for up to $2,000 per customer to fix problems. So they, like the waitresses or the bellboy or whatever, if they're told about a problem, they have the authority to fix it up to $2,000, no questions asked. And I thought, that's interesting. They must really trust those employees to give, I mean, when you think how many hundreds of guests they have in each hotel, I mean, they must not abuse that policy, but they want them to know that they trust them to fix problems for their customers.
Right.
I thought that was fascinating.
And that's
That's a
probably
lot of
why they're
power.
so. That's probably why they're so strict with their expectations for their employees too. Because if they're strict with their expectations and their training, they won't really have to worry about those coming up as often.
Yeah.
Because situations won't come up as often as a Motel 6 or something.
Yes. Well, I think it was in the same article. It gave them a list of words that they can use and phrases. I think it
Apple
hinted
does
at
that too.
it in the case.
Yeah.
In this article I read, there was a list of words they can't use. Hey, guys, okay, uh-huh. There's like a list of 10 things that they can't say. And I was like, I would not make it there. That's like my vocabulary. But it's like, of course, what was some of the other ones? And I just thought, I would be so uncomfortable in that situation if somebody was talking to me like that. Hence the reason we don't stay at the Ritz-Carlton. So, anyways, I just thought it was interesting, like the whole atmosphere that they create there, and how they can do that, how they can get employees on board in 7 days, and have it work, and it has worked. So.
Yeah, and one of the things too that fascinated me in the reading was that, I mean, there was one guy who made a statement that, I mean, well, he came looking for a job and then he ended up having a career. I mean, they bring you in there, and then no matter what level you are, they give you the confidence and believe in yourself that you can be somebody in that company if you give up your best. You say it. So everybody stands a chance, and people have risen through the ranks and they become managers. You say it. So I believe too that is another advantage that they have, that they give the employees the confidence that if they stay, they can have a career in that company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, I think that's probably more so than other hotel industries. I mean, hotel industries have a good chance of not even having those people in 3 months, having them work for them. So there's not that opportunity to rise because they don't stick around.
Right.
So.
And even most jobs don't give you that kind of confidence to know you can rise no matter what level you are. At certain companies, if you come in and you don't have a qualification or a college degree, I mean, you are stuck at a certain level. You don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Yes, but it looks like with them, I mean, they give you on the job training and you do well and you are capable, they will definitely move you up.
Right.
I'm curious. They have their daily lineup. I don't know if you guys talked about this before, but the daily lineup concept is very smart. But what do they say to inspire them? Because really, making beds every day would be torture to me. I couldn't handle it. So what do they do to inspire them to stay motivated? There's got to be like this amazing something,
They've got
right?
coaches.
Yeah.
Well, was it in here that they said if they don't love their job, then they're just coming to make beds? Or was that in a different article I read? Like, oh, it's right here. After cleaning 16 rooms to our standards, you're exhausted. You come back to work the following morning, and if I don't remind you that the customers are important, that being nice to them is critical, that eliminating defects is paramount, that the genuine care of the customer is crucial, well, then you'll forget. You'll think that you just come to work to clean rooms.
Right.
So I don't know what they say. That would be fascinating to hear because they really have to do it. They really have to inspire those people because, like you said, it would be torture
It would.
to do that much laundry or make all those beds or clean the rooms
Right.
every day.
No, but it looks like they make you believe that you are very important to the company.
Right.
No matter what you are doing, whether you are making beds or you are a bellboy or you are the overall person calling the shots, they make you believe that you are really important to the company. So if I'm making beds and they've put in my mind that tomorrow I can be the one running that whole company,
Yeah.
of course I'll give my best. And then besides that, they make you feel very important.
Right.
Yes, unlike certain places that if you are making beds, the manager will make you feel you are really making beds. You see it, and they don't even care who you are in the company. You see it. So I think that's what makes the difference.
Do you
Right.
think it's monetary? Do you think they pay their people more than other hotels?
Maybe
I was
not.
curious about that too. I don't know.
I wonder if they get a better, I don't want to say class of employees, but do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to say it nicely.
I'm feeling that it might not necessarily be the money, but if you are working at a place that they make you feel very important,
Right.
you might want to stay there forever.
Yeah.
You see it. But if you work at a place that they look down upon you, why would you want to stay? I remember when I came here, I think about 12 years ago, I used to work in a computer chip company, and we had one supervisor at the end of the shift. Okay, he stands at the gate in the clean room, and everybody who steps out, he shakes your hands and say thank you for coming to work tonight. You see, it's not the money. Anytime he says, it makes me feel very good inside.
Right.
You see, even though I was making maybe $12, $13 an hour, but I felt good anytime he shook my hand and told me thank you for coming to work tonight. You see, so maybe it's they making them feel that you are very important to the company. That is why they stay. It might not necessarily be the money. Somebody can be making $3 million a year, and if the person is not happy in a job, that person will leave.
True.
Yeah.
So I was just looking online. The average hourly and salary for different positions with Ritz-Carlton, and hopefully they're making them really motivated because I'm looking here. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
A front desk agent, $15.72 an hour. An
That's as
SBA
much as you make as the manager at Noodles and Company.
Oh yeah.
concierge $13.80.
Wow.
A server $6.63. These are averages.
They probably get tips too.
A hostess $13.52. A sales manager's salary is $58,000. Cook is $15.78. Let's see. A housekeeper $12.57.
See, Dondi, it wouldn't be worth it for us.
The highest salary I see, I don't even know what it is. An assistant room executive makes almost $80,000 a year.
Wow.
I don't know what that is.
So, I mean, those lower ranks, who are not making anywhere close to $70,000 a year, should turn over quickly, but they are not turning over.
No.
Is it? They are staying. Maybe they get a lot of tips though, because in those kind of hotels, you have very, very expensive people coming to live there, and maybe they get a lot of tips.
Yes.
I hope so.
But like you said, if you have a manager that shakes your hand and is really grateful to have you there, if you can make $15 an hour at McDonald's or you can make $15 an hour at the Ritz-Carlton, and your manager at Walmart is always telling you, or McDonald's, wherever we are, is never thanking you for your work, and the Ritz-Carlton makes you feel appreciated, like some of those social benefits of having that job have to outweigh or make up for some lost. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And if I were a manager at the Ritz-Carlton and, there was an employee who was struggling or something, I would just tell them, stick it out for 2 or 3 years and you have this experience at the Ritz-Carlton on your resume. You can go easily get like a manager position at like a Hilton or something like that.
Yeah.
A DoubleTree or a Holiday Inn or something like that.
Well,
So,
I didn't realize that the Ritz-Carlton is a Marriott property.
oh,
Yeah, I
really?
did.
Yeah, it's their high-end, top of the line Marriott properties.
I only found out with this case. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I went when I was looking something else up. I found out. But
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's move on. See, how does Ritz create ladies and gentlemen in only 7 days?
Brainwashing.
Right. Right. I don't know. I just think they have to have some really talented motivational speakers. They have to. I don't know what they say, but I would like to know so I could tell my students such things.
yeah. Well, I think they expect it. I think that's one of the things. It's expected that you're going to be a lady and gentleman to our client.
Right. Right.
And we'll give you the tools of how to do it, but we expect you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think too that is from the interview process, the way they pick their staff. I mean, you could be somehow tell who will be able to make it in a short time, maybe through the interview process. So maybe they pick very well, because to change somebody's attitude in 7 days, that is really, really pushing it. And to get about 400 people to toe the line in 7 days, wow, that is real magic.
Okay, so this is a question I have. So after their opening, and down the road they need to hire another server or cook or bartender or whatever, do they do the same 7-day training process, or is this 7 days just for their opening? Did anyone find that? I looked for it and I couldn't find it in my research.
That's the question I had too. I'm assuming that they just get hired and then they're trained as they go. I'm sure there's some type of orientation that they have that maybe lasts a few days.
New hotels altogether.
Right.
Okay. That's kind of what I didn't know.
But who knows? Maybe they do.
Yeah.
Maybe they do.
The other thing I liked about their hiring process is that they treated everyone respectfully, even the ones they didn't pick, and they gave them a little goodie bag of Ritz-Carlton treats and stuff. And they said everyone is our customer, or their parents are our customer, or their neighbor or their grandma or whatever. And so they have to treat everyone respectfully. So this whole ladies and gentlemen thing, it's not just that they pass it on to their employees to treat their customers like that. They really live that way. That's how they act in every business dealing. So I thought that was kind of cool that that they can see the potential customer in everybody, so they treat everybody like that. And I think that's kind of how they train their people to always be looking at everyone as a potential customer and treating them that way.
Right.
That was kind of rambling, but yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that part.
Yeah, and that is very impressive too, for them to look, far beyond just recruiting somebody for the job, because definitely you don't know who that person would be tomorrow. That person could be running a 500, company in the next 2 years, Fortune 500 company in the next 2-3 years, and could bring you big business. So now you tell the person off just because the person didn't make it at the interview, and then next 2 months you see that person riding high and won't bring you the business. But the little impression you create there, that person, it will stick with that person for life. And who knows, that person might be living in your hotel in the next 2-3 years down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You never know who your customers are going to be. So I
Definitely.
guess it's a lesson in life that you need to treat everybody respectfully and kindly, and because you don't know who's going to be the next person that you need help from or you have to interact with. I saw a joke as I was looking up some stuff, and it was a cartoon, and it said this guy came tearing into the parking lot and took this spot that somebody else was waiting for, and he got out and he flipped the guy off, and he's like all mad, and he runs into the building. Well, he was coming in for an interview with the guy he cut off, and so he's like, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. You have to put your best self forward at all times. And I think, how do we interact with each other? How do we interact with people we don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Tells a lot about who we really are.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's been happening. I think about just before the NBA season started a year or 2 years ago. I mean, one of the rookies, after taking their first, what they call it, paychecks, decided to go to New York and buy Rolexes. I don't know why they want to waste their $250,000 on a watch. But actually, when they went to this, what do you call it, high-end shop and asked for the price of the Rolex, the girl behind the counter said she'll be back, and she called the cops. You see, I mean, she didn't know they were NBA players, and she lost the business because it turned out they were NBA players and they really had the money. They said, okay, they moved to the next shop and bought their Rolexes from that next shop.
Yeah.
So you see, I mean, that is a perfect example of you not treating your customer very well and losing big business.
Well, and in that example, not only did they lose their business, but now it's been like, about it, and I don't know the store name, but I could go look it up. They lose future business, and that's what they said. They don't want you to ever complain to someone, because you don't want somebody to go home and say, well, the Ritz-Carlton treated me poorly, so never stay there.
Never, yeah.
It's word of mouth is your best advertising. People that have been in your business or been, working with your company that can tell other people that you do a great job. That's the best endorsement you can get.
Right.
So,
how would you describe the leadership and values of Ritz? I think we've been talking about that a lot. But how would you describe the leadership and values of Ritz-Carlton?
I think they don't just say it, they live it. And so I think that's what we've talked about in a nutshell, is that's their way of life. That's who they are. And so that's why they can inspire their employees to make beds every day, because they truly do value them as the maid or as the chef. Their position is important to them. And they're not just some random person that means nothing to them. They are important and they're valued. So
yeah,
that's, I don't know, that's their success right there.
I'd love to be in on one of their meetings.
Yeah.
Just hear what they have to say.
Yep.
Well, and it's funny because they have those morning meetings. Donda, you talked about it earlier. I can't remember what they're called, like the
lineup.
Okay. So have you guys ever been in a Walmart early in the morning when they have their hoorah and they do their cheers?
No.
Okay.
Target does something like that throughout the day.
Yeah. So they gather all their employees in a aisleway, crossway somewhere. They kind of tell them what's going on, anything that's coming up that they need to know about, and then they do this like Walmart cheer. And my brother is a co-manager. My brother-in-law is a co-manager for Walmart, and I asked him about these things, and he's like, "They're so lame. No one wants to be there. No one wants to come. They're just dumb." And I thought, okay, so this was a while ago. I was talking to him about it, but I thought about it when we read this in the case, and I thought, okay, so how is it that Walmart, their managers think they're dumb, but they have to do them, and then you get the Ritz-Carlton who does them, and they probably like them, and their employees probably like them. They get more bang for their buck out of them than Walmart does. So is it attitude? Is it employees? Is it personalities? I don't know. What's the difference between one and the other?
So it's just I think it's an attitude thing. It's the way you perceive somebody. I mean, you give the person the confidence to think that the person is somebody or not. You see, it's just like an insult. I mean, you keep telling somebody is stupid, is stupid, is stupid. The person basically ends up thinking he or she is stupid. You see, but when you keep on telling the kid that you are smart, you're smart, you're smart, that kid grows up and thinks he or she is very smart. You see, so the same thing applies to the situation here. Ritz Carlson thinks that their workers are exceptional no matter what level they are working at, no matter what they are doing, they are extremely important to the company. And that is how they treat them. And they make them to get them to buy into that philosophy that without me making bets, there's no Ritz Carlson. You understand? Without me greeting somebody at the gate, there's no company. Without me driving a customer from the airport, there's no company. So now they buy into it and they live it.
Right. I think it starts at the top. They have to have that attitude, and they have to trickle down into all of their employees, that attitude of you are important and I need you. And we all need you. Like you said, if the maid walks out, we don't have a business.
Right.
And it's true in every company. I mean, it's a chain. One chain breaks, no matter how least in the whole chain. One chain breaks, and you have a problem.
Yep.
Right.
So just imagine, let's say the cleaning crew leaves Carlton. I mean, that hotel will be filthy in the next 3 days. Who sweeps? Who cleans? You see. But certain people or certain managers, I mean, treat low-level employees as what they are, low level. Some even walk by you and they won't even say hi because it feels that you don't belong to his class.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do that in rates. You say a manager will see you and say hi and stand with you and chat with you and make you feel good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it comes down to employee selection? Like that's the personalities they are looking for, and then they can mold personalities that are more positive, more, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
go ahead, Dondi.
I think that's probably true because it said there was 2,000 people that applied for those 400 positions. It's not like they only have 5 people to pick from. They have a huge amount of people. So they could be very picky about what they want. It could come down to attitude.
Right.
For sure.
And maybe sometimes too, they have certain tricks that they play during interviews just for them to see what you fall in and what you can do. They might end up pushing your buttons without knowing it to see if they can set you off. I mean, like recently, there was this company that was hiring, and the HR person, or was it the CEO, took the interviewee to a restaurant and made sure that they messed up his menu. And then when they messed up the menu for him to see that, I mean, whether, what do you call it, the guy will react, or did we read it in a case study or something?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, and then he wanted to see if the guy will react, so that if he doesn't react, then it means he's timid. You understand? So that if they mess up your menu and they bring the wrong menu, and then you keep quiet and you accept it, that means that, oh no, you don't qualify for this job because you're timid. So, I mean, maybe they might have certain tricks that they pull in the interview to make sure that they get who they want and then be able to mold them to toe the line.
Right. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to find out about that. The whole go out to dinner method.
Yeah. So go to a restaurant and they mess up my menu, I make sure you fix it. I don't know who is watching. I remember a week, 2 weeks ago, I went to a restaurant and I ordered what do you call it, a salmon sandwich. Now the sandwich came and I wasn't seeing the salmon because I thought I was going to get a heavy piece of salmon. I wasn't seeing it, so I called the guy and I told him, "Where is the salmon?" And he says it's right there. I said, "Where?" He said shaved salmon. I said, "Shaved salmon?" I said, "Why didn't you write in the menu that is shaved salmon?" He made me order salmon and I can't find it. He was mad. I could see he was mad. He wasn't happy. I was questioning him. But I had to pay money. I paid $14 for that.
Yeah. That's funny.
Now, there's another question. Should McBride lengthen the time spent on training, or we think the 7 days should be okay just because they've been successful with it all this while?
I think so. I think they should stick with what works. Because if they try to change it up, it'll just throw things off. If they throw in a spontaneous last day training when he hasn't had a whole lot of time to get it prepared, it will just be a waste of time. Yeah, that's my thought.
I agree.
It reminds me, we were talking about it earlier, how you can go to one Ritz-Carlton and it's like you're stepping into nothing new. You anticipate what's going to happen. Everything's the same. The culture, the way you're treated, everything. It reminds me of the church. Like, you can go anywhere in the world and you step into a chapel and it's like going to church. But once people start changing things up, that's when it starts to get weird at church.
Yeah. Okay, so you know how they talked about how Collins picked the artwork? Do you think that's a big deal?
It shouldn't be.
I don't know, but I'm thinking that he's interfering too much. I was expecting that he should leave the team. Once you've given it to the management group to handle, let them do their business. But he seems to be trying to interfere every step of the way. So personally, I think he should have allowed them to pick their own artwork.
I thought the same thing, and I wondered if it was they were just trying to show us that he was trying to get his goat, trying to stick his fingers in where they didn't belong. Because I agree, I think they should be able to. It's their hotel. If they want it to look exactly the same as the one in New York or LA or whatever, then they should be able to do that. They've rented out that property for their company.
Right.
So I didn't think, I mean, I thought it was a big deal that he did it, but now that the art is all there, I think just kind of go with it, right?
Mhm.
I'm sure it's gorgeous. I'm sure it matches the level of luxury that is in other Ritz-Carltons. They wouldn't buy Motel 6 paintings, you know? So, anyways, I wondered what you guys thought of that.
Do anybody has any contributions on that?
I didn't really think it was a big deal.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But it looks like McBride wasn't happy about it, though.
Right.
No. I
Anyway,
had a hard time keeping those two
move
straight.
forward.
Collins.
Come again?
I had a hard time keeping McBride and Collins straight. I had to write myself a note on the top of my case.
Mm.
Maybe because I read it a little bit at a time, but I don't know.
So now let's go to the next question. What expectations do you think customers have for Ritz-Carlton that has just opened?
I would say the same quality that they've had from past experiences. Nothing
Right.
more, nothing less. What they're used to.
Yeah.
Supposed to be luxurious and grand, so they're going to expect that.
Well, and they're going to expect it day one. Like, they're not going to, oh, you know, you guys just barely opened. It's okay that we don't have sheets on our bed yet. They want the same experience as they've had every other place. And the people that go to Ritz-Carltons, you know, have the money to expect the best.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they want it on day one, which is why I think it's kind of smart to keep their occupancy rates low so that their employees can get up to snuff on their skill set.
Right.
And just like Andrew said, I mean, like you step in any world in the world, you expect the same thing. You say it. So anybody who's used to a Ritz-Carlton coming here would say expect the same thing that might have experienced before any part of the world. So the same quality of service and everything is ready when you ask for it. You get technicians working 24/7 to help you with simple things. I mean, you expect anything that you might have experienced before at this new hotel.
Well, and they teach their employees to anticipate expectations. So there, like you said, there really shouldn't be that many complaints or that many frustrations because they know what their clients want. They know before their clients know what they want.
Right. Right. True.
I know it'd be fascinating to go to a Ritz-Carlton. I don't think my husband's gonna let me go. Like I have Noodles and Company on my list, and then we have to go to Ritz-Carlton because I studied about it. We gotta go.
There's one in Boston, Godfred.
All right, Godfrey, you
Ritz-Carlton?
go.
I don't know.
I'll go get some reservations.
I think the closest one to me in Idaho is in Colorado.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I looked at their website because I've heard of them, but I'd never like looked at their website. I think the cheapest room I found was $300 a night.
Oh, $300 a night is affordable. I mean, it's manageable.
See,
So at
that's
least
interesting.
for just the experience, I can save $300 and go and just spend the night there.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking in Boston though. I was looking in Colorado. I'm sure it's a lot
So
different.
Boston might be more expensive.
Yeah.
In Arizona, the one that I looked at was the cheapest room they had was $195, but their average room was $250. So it's even cheaper in Arizona. But looking at their pictures, there was nothing like grand about it. I don't know
No, that's
why
what
they would charge that much.
That's what I noticed too. There was nothing that really stood out to me like, oh, that's a super nice hotel. But
Right.
maybe
They
they have,
today.
yeah, because I was looking at some in California too, and there were rooms that had really nice views and stuff. But I mean, when I looked at a room, I thought, oh, yep, that looks like a hotel room to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nicer chair than usual.
Okay.
But remember the what do you call it? The catch comes in the service that you get.
Right,
Right.
right. And
That
that's
is
what I don't
makes the
know.
difference. Is the
Yeah.
service. I mean, you what do you call it? Call in the middle of the night that your internet is not working and somebody is coming in there to fix it right away. I mean, you want something to eat at 2 a.m. and then somebody is there to get it for. I mean, it's a service that makes the difference. I don't
I
think
don't
it's
know,
the look.
Godfred. I stayed at a hotel by the airport in Salt Lake, and they had cookies at the front desk. Okay,
That's all
when
it
I
takes.
checked in. Exactly.
Nice.
So
That's pretty funny.
It makes me want to go to one, just go to the front desk and
Yeah.
just ask questions just to see how nice they really are.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
go to one of their restaurants or something.
Yeah.
We stayed at the hotel next door to the Ritz-Carlton in LA a couple years ago.
There you go.
It was a JW Marriott, so it was one of the higher end Marriott.
Nice.
It was like too swanky. Like my husband and I are like, we don't feel comfortable here. It was weird. Like the waterfall with it's on fire. Like it was really weird, and blue lights and bars, and and you had to walk through that to get to our hotel room, and then our hotel room was like nothing. It was like average.
Right.
Do you know what like? So the lobby area was swanky, but then the hotel was not. So I don't know if it was just a recently purchased one and they're redoing it, but I don't know. We got to go on a field trip to Colorado, I guess.
That's right.
Anyway, now let's do one more question. What time do we close?
Anytime, I think.
Anytime you want,
maybe let's
Godfrey.
do two more questions and we can wind up. How much more time do you think it should take to get staff ready to handle 80% occupancy?
One more week. I don't know.
1 week?
I don't know.
That wasn't
if
what
they're
my
so
bride was. My
prepared
bride is not thinking about 1 more week. They are looking at months.
Yeah.
They are looking at months down the road. I mean, they want to ease into it very slowly.
Then they say 2 months 2 or 3 months that they ramp up to 80.
3 months?
I think so.
And
But I
that,
just think 7 days of training, which, 2 of it is like all on value. So 5 days on your job, 5 or less days on your job. There's got to be some extra training that's going on in that time while they're ramping it up. So give those housekeepers a chance to do it, and then go in and as a manager and say, I'll come clean with you and we'll do it, like you're missing this, or we've got to make sure we do this. Because I mean, if getting all that training in 7 days has got to be like drinking from a fire hose. There's going to be so much information that you're trying to, take in and remember, that you're going to miss something. There's got to be some time for them to retrain, or for those people to ask questions. So I don't think 2 to 3 months is bad, but like Godfrey said, they still have to make their bills. They still have to turn a profit to pay the rental fees, all the
pay off their loan.
Yeah. I don't know though. I've never been a manager in a hotel, so I don't know if 3 months is too long or too short. I don't know.
No, but whatever time they take to ramp it up, they have to also consider that the Millennium Partners will also have to make money. They need to make money immediately to start paying, because like when we're reading the case, it said somewhere that, if you don't sell a potato in Walmart, you sell it tomorrow. But if you don't rent a room tonight, it's money gone. So if they keep on staying, so let's ramp it up in 6 months, these guys are going to lose a lot of money in 6 months. So they need to get it to speed and be able to get it to 80% as quickly as possible. So I think that maybe, maybe maximum a month should be what they should be doing, nothing more than a month.
So are they talking about training without any guests, or are they talking about, because I was thinking they could possibly offer guests like a discounted rate and let them know that they'd be training new employees, and do it for like a month. That way the employees could have like real experiences versus training experiences, and that way too they can still make money during that month period. I don't know.
That's interesting to think about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do one more question. Are there other ways that staff could get experience without delaying the opening?
Yeah, I think
I'm not talking about they've been trained in another facility and brought down there.
I think if they just allowed a certain amount of guests come, and not charge them the full rate, but charge them like a discounted rate. I don't know.
I almost wonder if they could do like a friends and family event. Like how some stores do a soft opening and invite their new employees and their friends and family to come in, and then they find out that the registers don't work, or like the little price scanner doesn't work, whatever it is. Like they can kind of get the kinks out with friends and family that aren't going to judge them and aren't going to say, well, I'm never coming back to a Ritz-Carlton because something happened. But I wonder if that would work, something like that, where they could try out their services without turning away potential guests.
Right.
I wonder if their clientele, their very wealthy clientele, would want to come in and train people. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the clientele, when they enter a Ritz-Carlton, they don't expect anything mediocre. They expect the same services that they've experienced somewhere else before coming in. So I don't think they should be taking chances trying to devalue what they do. I mean, their service should be top-notch anytime they open a place. So it shouldn't be something that they should be working on a client at all with. If you don't know your job, stay away from the clients, because you don't want to create a bad impression for one single client.
That's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I just know I'm going on a field trip sometime. I'm going to a Ritz-Carlton. I'm going to try it out.
That'll be good.
Right.
Make sure you have a lot of money on your credit card, because a hot dog might cost you $1,000, even though the room is $200.
I know.
Right.
That is how they make their money.
Right.
Because if they can let staff at whatever level be able to spend $2,000 to fix a problem, then they should be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think we can end here, and thank you very much for all your contributions. I'm going to stop the broadcast now.
Okay.